public test server is live, and BioWare suggests you test all the things. Wait, you may have thought you heard me say test some things or many things. I said test all the things. That and more coming up on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 408. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
It's going great. Although I have to admit, I haven't tested all the things yet.
Boy, they really want you to test all the things, don't they?
I've been just playing in real life, you know, like on the real server. That's real life.
Sweet.
But yeah, so we are on the test server today, so we're here.
Is that real life? I don't know if that's...
I was wondering if you're going to let me get away with that.
Is this the real life? Okay. What else have you been doing?
So, you know what? Life Day has started. So, we did snowballs on Tuesday night for MFN, which means we ran around on Nar Shaddaa and pelted the overheated droids with snowballs. And then for the second half, we went hugging Wookies, which was really educational because one of our guildies, Elion, gave us some really good tips and tricks on how to easily find the sweet spot. Because if you've tried to hug a Wookiee before, it only works in a very small, like a very specific couple of places. You have to get like close enough, but not too close, and a little bit off to the side, but not too much off to the side. And so that was good. And then she also showed us her route that she used last year to get to like 1,500.
Yeah, which is great because again, 1,500.
That's a lot.
So they didn't up it the total this year.
They did not up it, and it looks like the way it works is because I didn't complete the 1,000 from the year before, and it looks like when I hug a Wookiee now, I get credit towards the 1,000 and credit towards the 1,500, and I don't mean
nice.
Yeah, right. So I have like 11 of 1,000, and then like 19 of 1,500. I don't know how those two numbers are different. I don't get that. But then like when I hug a Wookiee now, both of them increment. So I think you do, to get both of them, you do have to hug 2,500 Wookiees. I'm not sure. No, 1,500 because they're okay. Don't listen to me. Yeah.
Well,
but I think if you had done it the first year,
you have to be 1,508 for some reason. Because you'll hit the 1,000, even though you're 8 behind for whatever reason.
But if you were on top of things and you did 1,000 the first year, then you had to do the whole 1,500 when it came out the second year.
Right.
But if you were behind or / lazy like me, too lazy to hug 1,000 Wookiees, now I get to do only 1,500. I think that's how it works. Okay. So, yep, that's what we did for MFN, and our ops team is still on hiatus. So we've talked about like maybe curtailing our hiatus because the whole point of it was getting ready for leveling, which now we're not going to do until February. But a secondary point of it was just, the holidays. So that is still going on. Although a few of us got together tonight and went to Yavin 4 and ran around on Yavin 4 doing the weekly there because we have people on the team that are possibly going after the Renown achievements.
That's right. One is going after the 8 to 100, and another, so Corley's doing that, and Lucy's doing getting one up to 999, right?
Yep, she's taking a stab at it. 999 exactly.
I think she'll get it. Because she's like at 800.
Right. So. That's right. But that's still 200 away, really. That's a lot of...
Do the math on that. Carry that.
Well, it's easy to think of it as 100 because 8 and 9. But it's actually 999, which is more like 1,000.
Seema thinks I'm dumb.
No. Well, no. Well, I mean, yes, but what what I meant is that I at first I thought it was more like 100 because I was
Yeah.
just thinking, oh, 800 to
That's how they
900, but
get you.
yeah,
That's why everything costs 999 or
unless
1288, as the
1288,
case might be,
right,
as Mr.
right,
Microphone cost in the 80s. Uh,
yeah.
Mr.
It's like
Harassment.
it, it sounds weird now. I don't think anything costs 1288 anymore. It's all going to be 1299
Yeah,
or
I wonder if that was
1501.
like 1988 when that came out, so they went with 1288 for to be like,
Yes,
I don't know. That is a
that's
weird
definitely what
price.
they did. But yeah, so that's been my weekend SWTOR. How about you, Max?
I've been doing a little bit less in SWTOR this week, mostly just focused on the PTS. I did look at the start of Life Day. I don't need that much from Life Day. I probably won't hug 75,000 Wookies or whatever we just decided because that's like over 100 more than 1,000. So I'm not going to do that probably either because I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. I am doing a bunch of stuff on the PTS. I'm not going to do all the PTS achievements. We'll talk about those. But I also had to travel for work this week trying to get some things done before the end of the year. I didn't have time to do any kind of like meetup-y kind of stuff, which is kind of sad because we've got some friends in the SWTOR community in New York that I could have, which is where I was. I did get to run in Central Park though. That was kind of fun. But if I had had more time, I would have called up Sith Lord Brit and her family because they're there. They're big Star Wars fans, and we have done meetups and seen them at like the Star Wars Cantina in New York. That would have been fun. But I will be back in New York in January for another big conference, although I won't have any time then either. So wah, wah. That's just work, work, work. But holidays are almost upon us. If I can finish things up with work tomorrow, I will be mostly off the next 2 weeks. Just doing a little bit of prep work on for that January stuff on the side, which will be fun, and then I will have some time to get on the PTS a little bit more. I would love to potentially at least walk into and try a couple fights in the vet mode of the Flashpoint, which is now added to the PTS, and get through a little bit more of the. I'm mostly interested in the testing, and that's what we'll talk about, and we'll show off what we've tested so far and what I haven't, and what would take some more effort. That's been fun. Other than that, we do have a little bit of other news. Let's talk about that.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
In addition to things going on to the PTS and 7.0 being postponed and coming in February, 6.3.2b update did hit the servers this past week. And that is the update that brought us and turned on Life Day. It also added into the servers, so you should go seek these out, the 10-year anniversary vendors. The 10-year anniversary vendor is going to stick around for a year, and they're going to be slowly adding new things to it over time, especially for the launch in February. That's when we'll get the big deco posters from the screenshot contest. Then that's going to be a big part of that. But they said that it's going to last all year, and they're going to continue to add stuff. So that's kind of interesting. This update also set up and got things ready for Double XP coming in December 20th. Beast of Prosperity ready to turn back on, and then all of the Total Galactic Wars, which we'll talk about in just a second as well, and what we might do with them. But yeah, so the 6.3.2b, that's the patch that went in this week. Not a big thing, but they had to turn some things on, basically.
And if you've been wondering if there's going to be a sale on the Cartel Market stuff, yes, there is.
Yes.
From starting on December 20th. Oh yeah, all these. Yes, starting on from December 20th to the January 3rd, seasonal items will be available, and they'll be 75% off on all collection collection unlocks. So that means if you have collected something like on one character, you can collect it for all your characters. Then you can always get a free copy of that. And like for instance, I always do that on at least a few crystals, so that I can always get free crystals whenever I upgrade a weapon on any character.
Yep. Yeah, that's great.
There's another sale that's going to be 50% off all armor sets and 50% off character slots. That's just for a week, though, December 20th to December 27th. And then from the 27th to the 3rd will be 50% off on all mounts and stronghold decorations.
Cool. I think the big ones are the Legacy Collection unlocks. That's what I always save, and the thing I spend the most Cartel coins on ever in the history of Star Wars is Legacy Collection unlocks. Having that sale come along, that's a great boon. So check that out.
And also, I would say the character slots
Yeah,
too, because
you're right.
yeah,
I think we've had a lot of people that have been waiting for that with the new expansion coming, with the opportunity to play with new characters and with new styles and new combinations. Those character slots are in demand. So I expect they're going to make use of that 50% off on December 20th. So that's in a few days. Yep, coming up in 4 days for both of those first two sale opportunities. Cool. Also, the PTS updates we'll talk about in detail. We're going to show some of it off, but what you should keep track of in the dev tracker going beyond even what we talked about today is continuing news. Jackie is keeping the threads updated, the known issue thread, and then there are feedback threads for all of the things that they're asking for feedback and testing on. So check those feedback threads. Some of them are there's a whole collection of all the feedback threads, which there's a ton of them. There's like 20 of them now. Feel free to go back into those older feedback threads and add to the conversation. If it's something that you weren't able to test earlier and you have feedback for them, definitely get in there. But don't resurrect them and make sure that you're posting feedback. I noticed a lot of them seem sort of old and dead, and I would like more feedback on them. Like this one in particular, like legendary items. I looked in here and nobody's posted in the legendary items thread since like October. Yeah. Oh wait, there's more. November. There's one post from December in the legendary items thread, and this week they made some changes and they've got the quest in there, and nobody's posted any feedback on that. The mission in there on legendary items. Get in there, do it, and provide the feedback in there. I think that's important.
Yeah, there's achievements to be had.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, also, Feast of Prosperity is coming back from January 11th to February 1st. This is just basically a gift to us because of the give us something to do, since we won't be doing the leveling at that point. We're waiting for February. Because normally Feast of Prosperity just comes once a year. Although is it fair to say normally, since we've only had it twice so far?
Yeah, sure. That's
Yeah, why not?
Two data points gives a
yeah. The other thing is we're going to have
extrapolate.
3 weeks of Total Galactic War. So that is an interesting development.
That is interesting. And this leads into sort of guild and community news. So starting on Tuesday is a Total Galactic War week. I don't think we're going to be making a big, huge push. I noticed Officer Zen in our AIE-guild.org. You can get to our discords. We post anytime we do anything of these guild events, we do post it in there. Zen already posted the hey, Republic side, this is a Republic week, because we go back and forth of our focus each week. Here's all the tips for Total Galactic War. He may be doing it solo. So we'll clarify. I don't think we're going to make a big push, but hey, if we pick a planet and we happen to be doing well, and people have some spare time and want to goof off and contribute and do that, that's great. That's fine.
Yeah. So the plan is to look at the situation, and BC is going to analyze it and see if it looks like there's a low hanging fruit type of situation. Not this week because the holidays, but maybe on one of the other 2 weeks. Yeah.
Right. Which are January 4th and January 18th.
Right.
So as we think about those, yes, the big key that we always recommend if you'd like to participate in anyone's conquest is leveling up characters from level 10 and higher. You get so many conquest points just leveling up characters. It's a great tool to just play easy things, put on a bunch of levels, and I've gotten millions of conquest points doing that. What you
And
need
don't
to do,
forget,
though,
I mean,
explain.
it's a fairly new change, so you might not be on your radar, but you have to be in the guild from the week before. You
Right.
cannot join the guild during that week, so little pre-planning required.
Yeah, but before the Tuesday reset, you need to have the character added to the guild. So what I will do this weekend is I will probably take the 4 characters I used for my last Total Galactic War Planetary win. Probably going to delete them, re-roll them, and add them to the guild as level 1s. What I usually do is I level them up on Hutta or on Tython or wherever I'm leveling. Well, I guess this is going to be Republic side. So Tython and Ord Mantell. Ooh, babies. Uh, level them up manually to level 9, just by just by running around the planet a little bit and doing the first couple quests. Then at level 9, I take them to a Yavin stronghold, and I wait. Then I wait for the Total Galactic War week to start, and then I do the Yavin kick trick, which is where you have someone invite you to their Yavin stronghold and then kick you out, and you end up on Yavin, and you take the speeder ride, and you sort of step off of each of the landing zones of each of the speeder locations, and that will get you from level 9 to about level 17 and complete conquest and get you a ton of points just by doing that instantly on each of those characters.
Deleting those characters was my plan too for the characters I created for the last 2 Total Galactic Wars. But somehow I just haven't managed to delete them. I'm not sure I have it in me. We'll see.
I've run out of ways to spell Max, so I need to delete them just to recover the names.
I just started adding things to the end of SEMA.
Yeah. In fact, I think we have SEMA Test right here. Hello, SEMA Test.
And when I made a Sage for Total Galactic War, she's named SEMA Sage.
I would never have guessed that was a Sage and it was your character. That's a mystery.
Right. I don't have a SEMA Sork yet.
Ah.
I mean, I have Sorks, but I don't have a SEMA
this
Sork.
is Republic Week. You're gonna have to do. You have another Sage. It's gonna have to be SEMA another Sage, another one.
Another one.
SEMA Sage, another one. Maybe you can have it in the another one legacy.
Yes.
Also in Guild and Community News, as we mentioned in passing, but even in more detail, shout out to Elion and the work she did informing everyone on MFN about her guidance for how to hug 1,500 Wookiees. And then pinned in our SWTOR channel is her video even that she has that shows in detail the route that she takes, her tips, and everything. So she's got a 24-minute video out there. That's great. It's a great tool. So look, wow, she put the words and the overlay and everything. Shows you each of the Wookiee locations, her loop. She basically in a couple hours did 1,000 Wookiees. Because she's got
she just got it down.
If you want to know the secrets of Wookiee hugging, watch this video. So it's pinned at the top of our SWTOR channel.
You could probably watch this video while you're and follow along at the same time, and then you will have completed hers.
Yep, live real time assistance. Other than that, I wanted to give a shout out to the chat room who was helping us with audio checks before the show and listening to our weird references about Mr. Microphone in the 1980s and about vampires sniffing young girls. Join the pre-show if you want to hear more of that kind of talk. Gross old vampires being inappropriate towards young women. Just join us on Thursday nights. We will probably not do a podcast next week because next Thursday is a holiday for many. It's Christmas Eve, so we'll we'll be off. We'll be off on Christmas Eve. And then we probably will, the following week, though, do our end-of-year wrap-up show, which we've been doing for many, many years now. But right now, let's talk about some things that have been changed on the PTS.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
The deal has been altered on the PTS. I tried to find a quote about testing, and I found a quote about testing, PTS test, public test server. And I found a quote about testing. It's from Palpatine, so it'd be great, but I think it's from one of the books, and I don't even think it's a current book. I think it's a expanded universe, Legends, Star Wars book. So this test shows up in a couple places. This quote shows up in a couple places on the internet, but I don't know the actual source of it. So if anybody knows out there, if you're listening or you're in the chat room right now, it goes like this. We are all of us always being tested, my friend. Tests make us stronger, and strength is power, and power is the point. We must pass all the tests we face or die in the effort. That's Palpatine talking to Darth Vader about testing. So we have to pass all of the tests that BioWare has put in front of us or die in the effort. And boy, have they put some tests in front of us. They have loaded up the PTS with a bunch of stuff, so we'll go through all of those kinds of things. And then they said, and we'll add some achievements, because you guys like achievements, right? So let's start with the achievements, Seema. Tell me about your perspective on the achievements.
Well, I mean, I think it's perfectly fair to, give achievements for PTS stuff.
Yeah.
And I have nothing, here's my take. I have nothing but admiration and gratitude, really, for people who go on the PTS and level and test that part of the process, because I personally don't have that in me. I cannot level on the PTS. I couldn't on any game. It's really hard because I want that time. If I'm going to spend that time progressing a character, I want it to be in live. So
yeah, especially to the degree that they're doing it. But as you say, and I won't do these, but I'm not going to rant about it. I don't mind them. And if anyone, there are people that do this kind of stuff on the PTS, and if they do,
and they deserve an
they
achievement.
deserve it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is less, and this is sort of, I think people need to wrap their brain around this. This is not BioWare telling you have to do this, or every achievement is worth it, and you're losing out unless you do this ridiculous thing that BioWare has put in front of you. No. This is for the people that are going to do this anyway and deserve some kind of reward.
Yeah.
So there you go. So don't be mad at BioWare for offering this. Bow down to the people that deserve this. Bow down. Bow down to the Queen of Garbage.
What?
That's a Princess Bride. Boo! Boo! Bow down. So yeah, so to be clear, the achievements are logging into the PTS. I will get that one. I already did. Completing a class story. Completing a class story on any class. So is that all the way through chapter 3? Is that what that one is?
Yes.
So
yes.
Complete. Okay, I will not get that one. Complete all expansion story content.
Right, that's a lot. But I mean, if someone does that, if a person does
Hats off.
then that's a great service to the community and to BioWare.
Yes, I would doff my hat 32 degrees or more if they did that. Yeah, that's significant. And yeah, as you're sort of suggesting, I agree. It's a great service because we need this stuff tested. Get in there and do it. If something comes up on Makeb that, one of the new styles doesn't work, or your weapons in your outfitter don't show up, it'd be good to know. It'd be great to have somebody go through that. Now there also, yes, BioWare has testers, and their testers are testing all this stuff too. But this has got a PTS out there, and if people are going to go through it anyway, they get rewards, and it'll help BioWare, and it helps all of us because it loads much more people on there, and no plan survives first contact with the enemy. And we as the players right now are the enemy because we can't get it out of our heads not to be all angry and hatey when anything happens to anyone anywhere. So I think, yes, I think it's perfectly fine. And this is not a bad thing. And them offering the reward is not bad. And them offering up the PTS for people to test on and play on is not bad. It's only good. All right, where did I leave off before I started ranting? Why am I so ranty tonight?
Complete all expansion story. I mean, so all expansion story content, to me, that says Rise of the Hutt Cartel, Shadow of Revan,
Yeah.
Before and After Nights, all of it.
Yep. All of it. All of it. That's why I said all the things.
Yep.
You may have heard test a bunch of things or test many things. I said test all the things. Reach item rating 322 with one of your characters and complete the PvP, Heroic, and Flashpoint weekly missions. I don't like the "and" in there because I could get 322 pretty easily, but
Except you won't.
To do the
You won't
PvP
be.
weekly is the pain.
Max said he was not going to get that one.
Oh, right. I won't. And I will show you why once we get into what I've tested so far. And then a meta achievement for completing all of the above. And it's a meta achievement because it's an achievement of achievements. Just like a metaverse is a virtual verse of ultimately of other verses rolled up into a metaverse. And not what Facebook is creating. That's a separate rant. Join the post show if you want to hear about that. That is a meta achievement, completing all of the above. So there you go. So let's talk about what we have tested and what we've seen so far and what we've got. What have you sort of looked at? What have you tested, Seema? Where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, let's start with when you actually get on the PTS, because that seems to be a moving target.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was frustrating me a little bit earlier.
So last week, to level your character to 80, you would go to the fleet. But this week, apparently, what, Max?
Yes. You can now copy your characters, and then they come over level 75. But the level 1s or the level 75s to get them to level 80, that cool droid that used to be on the fleet, don't bother to do 3 complete laps of every corridor of the fleet to look for it, like I may have earlier, because it's not there on the fleet. They moved it to Odesson. Now, it's always been on Odesson also. It looks like a slot machine. It's just right there by the landing pad on Odesson, but that's where it is. That's what you click if you want to level up to level 80, and that's what gives you like 10 million credits. And it also gives you currency, which I didn't exactly know why. It gives you like 10 or 20 legendary embers, 20 solid resource matrices, and 20 process isotope stabilizers. Maybe that's so you can test some crafting. They give you that stuff?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't seem bad to me. Then you want to go get the gear after you level up to 80. You can go buy basically for free 1 credit each. You can buy the Decurion 318 starter gear. There is a vendor over in the supplies area of the fleet, which will not be there in release, but it is a PTS vendor right here that says 318 gear vendor PTS, and it's got everything you're going to want there for your spec to pick up. So then you can equip all of that. And then that got me to the next thing I wanted to test, which was the Outfitter tab, because when I copy characters, here's a pro tip. If you want to look good, and remember, it's better to look good than to feel good, or to be good. I always grab armor out of my collection before I copy my character and have it in my inventory, because I have this cool armor set called the Mandalorian Seeker armor set, which is my favorite one, which is what I'm wearing here. And I bought a die for it, even off the GTN. I probably have more of them because I do this all the time. I probably have more of them in inventory elsewhere. But I got the right die. I got the armor set kept in my inventory, copied my character, so then it's there, and then I can set up my outfit. However, one part of my outfit in my testing, so I haven't filed my bug report yet, but the weapons slots in my outfitter don't work. So here I am in outfit number 1, and no blaster that I try to put in here works. So my main hand, offhand, or even this rifle that I'm trying to stamp into here, none of these blasters go. They all say this type of item cannot be placed in an outfit. I heard this is working for some people, so I don't know why it's not working for me, but it's not.
It's not working for me either, but just out of curiosity, is that a character that you copied over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a copy. Is yours?
No.
Or new roll? Okay, so neither of them.
Yeah.
Which gets us to the next point, which Seema mentioned why I won't get to 322, because as you can see here, my gear score currently is 316. 316. Even though I bought the full set of 318 gear, I don't like these tiny little noisy cricket blasters. Where's Seema? Let's find Seema. Where did you get? There you are. Draw, partner. No, I said pull out your weapons. We can't. What is that tiny?
That's Max. He's joking. That's a joke.
So look at it. It looks like I said that last week. It looks like a Star Trek phaser. Now look at this gun show. 2 tickets to the gun show. See that, Seema? Can you tell I've got a large blaster pistol there? Big jets of flame coming out the end, and look at those tiny. I'm not going to equip those tiny little things. So if I can't put this in my outfitter, that's it. I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to take the gear score hit, and I'm just going to be rocking my 306 blasters forever. Forever, for all the way through 7.0. So there you go. So those are a couple of things I tested.
Oh yeah, well your hair isn't blue.
It is not, and you are rocking a very cool character model and hairstyle. And that armor set. We were talking about that armor set. We were a little confused about even though I like the style, and I typically do not like asymmetric styles. I think that shoulder guard is on the wrong shoulder. That was one thing we were trying to talk about, because I'd want it not on my blaster arm. I'd want it on the other arm, because then my blaster arm.
Which of your arms is your blaster arm?
Well, I guess both I have for me.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of a problem here, but I'm right-handed, so my main hand is my right hand. So if I'm gonna have some sort of like bigger defensive shoulder, I would put it on my left, so that my right could have full range of motion, and then I'll still have to like turn to engage the defensive armor of the left shoulder, and I could shoot across my body if I needed extra cover, but you get much worse accuracy if you're shooting across your body. You should extend your arm, just so you know, in this magical fantasy world that we're using blasters in. But yeah, so but we're not done talking about gear. There's one other thing I wanted to mention, and which leads us to this guy standing in the back. On the gear vendor, it is a full set of 306, including augments and implants. And I did notice that I had enough stats that I did not have to have the accuracy implants and earpiece to get up to 110% accuracy. So if I click my details button here, my accuracy now is, oh wait, it went down to 7.3. I must have had the blasters equipped earlier. No, there's no accuracy on those. I don't know why I lost. So maybe I would have to have one of those pieces equipped, but not both the implants. There was a 1 out of the 3 to get up to 10%. Anyway, the legendary items is what you're going to want to be messing with for implants and earpieces. And this guy standing back here is the guy where you get that mission for unlocking legendary implants and earpieces. So I was asking in the chat room earlier if anyone had done this. gotten very far in this mission. So you click on this guy, Londar Aedwin, who's a Twi'lek, Omitopi. So he talks to you, and then he says you gotta wait. So here's this, I don't know why they do this. Just make you stand here and wait for a countdown timer while this guy stares at you. If you click on him early, he says, "Have some patience. Research is happening." And he kicks you off. And he makes you wait. So here, it's only like 30 seconds. But now you can speak to him again, and now he'll still say you didn't wait long enough, but then he'll talk to you. Oh, apparently you and I have different definitions of 1 minute. Oh, well, I suppose I'm ready enough. So what he does is chats at you a little bit more here. So we're going to space bar through this because we don't want to spoil the story, even though it's not really a story. He says what you need to do is you need to seek out these charges on his neuro key by completing these research activities to charge the neuro key. And after you charge the neuro key, something is going to happen. Either it's going to unlock some sort of vendor where you can buy these, and this is what I haven't seen yet, and I'm hoping someone will test. You need to get 100 charges. And there's different activities that have different amounts of charges, varying from anything between 2 all the way up to one thing, which is 34 charges. So this whole window here shows all the different things which give you one of those 100 charges. So this is like 2 charges for a flashpoint on story, 2 charges for doing something in group finder, 10 charges for a master mode flashpoint, 10 charges for a ranked PvP match, a daily area weekly mission is 10 charges. Heroic weekly missions are 10 charges. And then 34 charges for completing personal conquest. So because this is a mission, I'm expecting you need to do this all in one character, and then that character completes the neuro key. And then I don't know. And then I don't know what happens. Either then, he becomes a vendor and you can buy legendary implants and earpieces off of him, or that gives you the ability to pick one. I don't know. So that's what I'm interested to see. That's what we need some testing on. Get on there, test it out, tell us what you find. And if I get it done, I will let you know what I find as well. What do you think of this concept so far, Seema? Because I do have a couple thoughts, and I will wait to tell you if you are right or wrong.
Do you? So you mean like the process of it being via a quest?
Yeah.
I like the idea of it being by a quest.
Yes, I do too. Correct. Right answer. Good choice. You chose wisely. Because, so 2 ways. If I've got to do it for every piece, if I've got to repeat this for every piece, I won't be as happy about that. But even if I had to do that, then fine. It's at least a little bit of something to make it seem like this is a little bit more legendary. Now, I would like it to even be more of an epic quest line. I mean, if these are like really legendary items, and maybe give them a backstory and give them a cool title and a name, and you have to do some chain of harder stuff, that would be even better. But this is at least something. And I don't mind that, because I want it to feel like something more than just you just copy and pasted my set bonus off of my armor onto these earpieces and stuck them on a vendor, which is really what they did. So, all right, so there's that.
The quest might be epic.
It doesn't seem too epic so far. It's just 100 points. It's kind of like. And it's 34 points for personal conquest. So in 3 weeks of just hitting personal conquest target on your character, you're done.
Oh yeah. But there might be more.
Ooh, there might be a part 2. Like, do it again and hug a Wookiee. Hug 75,000 Wookiees, and you will get a legendary item. All right. So that mostly gets us through gear. Oh, but that reminds me of one other thing then. Now we're level 80. And now we have 318 gear, or 316 in my case. And now you can go try some stuff out. And one of the things that they suggested we try out and test, that they're asking for feedback on, Am I in the right thread here for where all the feedback? Oh, here's all the feedback. Is scaling. Have you tried any scaling? I looked at the thread and it sounds like scaling's not
No,
working.
no, I haven't.
Which reminded me, I thought what we should be doing here, even during the podcast, is going to do a like 2-man Nightmare Pilgrim, because I heard somebody, if you read the forums, somebody soloed Nightmare Pilgrim. Scaling is supposed to be working. It
Really?
seems to not be working. So people are doing crazy things like soloing Nightmare Pilgrim. Primal here. So this person went to, they killed Lucky and only took like 15% damage. They soloed, they like practically one shot Primal Destroyer.
Yeah, that sounds like it's not scaled.
Scaling seems to not be working for those. And it's working, I think it's working in a couple flashpoints, but not even most of the flashpoints. So I think this is a miss. So if Jackie chimed in and said, appreciate the feedback, pass it along to the team so they can review and investigate what's going on with game scaling. So I think this just is something is not set up correctly on the PTS, and we should be having scaling there to test. So there is that. All right. A few other things. Let's talk about this one because we had to work this out in the pre-show and earlier. Weekly featured content missions. And we kind of did figure this out. We think. It didn't manifest as completely as I thought. What it seems like to me, and the way you would see what this looks like, is looking in Group Finder, or on if you go on the fleet and click on the terminal for weekly flashpoints and weekly operations. Here, if I'm clicking on veteran operations, I only have 9 possible operation or veteran flashpoints. I only have 9 possible out of the 27 total flashpoints in the game that are available to me this week. This is the featured weekly content, we think. So what they're doing here is they're funneling the community week to week into a smaller set of activities and putting those activities on rotation. And what this will do is both focus everyone that does want to do some of these, so somebody's not queued up for like Red Reaper and the queue never pops and they wonder why that's going on, for one. And for two, it'll get around the thing of everybody just runs Hammer Station over and over and over again. Now you'll still be able to do that, but it's not going to be a daily weekly. You're not going to get the currency, so you really don't want to be doing that. You're not going to get any medals of commendation here as an example. So and then like in the operation, I don't know why it says Terror from Beyond up here, but then has 3 that you're queuing up for, which is Terror from Beyond plus Explosive Conflict plus Eternity Vault as the set of 3 for this week. So I don't know if this is still a typo and that's not how that's supposed to be, or exactly what's going on there. So what do you think of this featured weekly thing and funneling you into activities and not having the full menu of flashpoints and operations available, Seema? Because there's pros and cons.
Yeah, I know. I'm sort of waiting to see how it plays out. I mean, I get it and I don't get it.
Right.
So I like the idea of, if the goal is to make some operations and flashpoints relevant that haven't been for whatever reason, that seems like a good goal, but I'm not sure that limiting options is the best way to do that. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be fantastic.
Now they're only limited in the Group Finder.
Right. So you can always make a group and go and get there on your own, right?
If we want to go do Ravagers, we'll just go do Ravagers.
But that just feels like a step back. Well, for flashpoints, that just feels like a step backwards, though. It's like we used to be able to use a Group Finder to travel there, and now we have to go there on foot.
Oh, that too. For any flashpoint. So because they won't show up that week if they're not one of those 9. and those
Yeah.
those will rotate. But same thing with the operations. So there's only 3 in the list for this week, and then they'll rotate for next week. I get the idea of putting things in rotation and focusing the community and getting shorter queue times as a result, and that kind of thing. And I do like that. But you're right. I don't know if this is the way to do that. Now, it might be too confusing or too messy to almost like have 2 group finders. Have like the featured content with bigger bonuses group finder, or like, a gold star next to the ones and only the featured ones selected, but everything else still available, so you could queue up into something else. I don't know. So I guess we'll have to just sort of see how it feels as that rolls out. It is a different change, and something that they specifically changed that to work this way. It was a little bit difficult to find and track down, though, so keep an eye out of what nothing says this is the featured weekly content. It doesn't say that anywhere. You have to like know that I clicked into story operations, tried to queue up, and there's only 3 things showing up here, and that's why. Because these are the featured ones, which was a little bit weird and difficult to discover.
That's the conclusion we came to, is that. Yeah.
Yep. Also, a little bit difficult to discover is Galactic Seasons. So this is in the easy part to discover is the ranks of all the Galactic Seasons and all of the things that you can unlock along the way. One thing, quick update, this was a clarification that already showed up in the dev tracker. You will not see the Cartel coins as rewards showing up in the Galactic Season reward schedule, but they will show up just like they did in Season 1. Otherwise, we're getting a weird reputation that we're building up, as well as getting a companion, and we're getting companion and mount and bunch of stuff, just like we kind of did for the first Galactic Season. They said that they're tweaking it and refining it. I don't see much different at all. So but there is 2 parts. So one part is the reward schedule. That looks really the same to me. Still 800 points total. It's still 100 ranks. Still like all the same stuff that you get. We'll get the companion right away, and then you get like weapons and outfits for it as you go along. Blah 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 blah. That all seems pretty straightforward and fine. It's good. It's good stuff. It's good rewards. We liked those. The part that could be a little bit different but is difficult to see is if you go over to the Conquest tab, down here where it says Conquest Objectives and Season Objectives, these are actually tabs. They don't look like tabs, and you might not realize that they're tabs, but if you hover over Season Objectives and click on them, then you get the list of your season objectives. These could be refined. I'm not really noticing much refinement, but I don't remember what the season objectives were last time around. Do you remember much, Seema? Complete 5 space missions. That sounds familiar.
I don't really understand this season objectives in total. Like, I don't understand why it says 0-7 weekly complete on the left, but 0-1 daily complete on the right. It's like,
yeah. I was thinking that meant that you can only do a total of 7 per week and only a total of 1 per day. Is that what that's saying?
Well, maybe. I mean, like the top one that says influencing the galaxy, it does have that little daily repeatable recycling icon, and maybe when you complete influencing, someone who's been playing on the PTS could tell us, but maybe when you achieve influencing the galaxy, then it will say 1 of 1 daily complete, and maybe all the rest are weekly because they don't have the little icon.
Oh, maybe. Here's another weird thing though, is these give different amounts of season points. So if I can only do 7, if I can only do each of these once, but if I can only do 7, I better if I want to optimize, I better pick the ones that give 12 points and not the ones that give only 5 or
To request authorization, speak to an information
yeah, a bunch of these give 12 and a bunch of them give 6. So I better pick all the ones that give 12, otherwise I'm gonna be behind on my season points
I don't know.
of my total
I
of
think
7.
I haven't really looked at the math, but I bet you could stay up to date by not doing all the 12 points and, mixing in some 6 points or whatever.
But if I can get
Because
like 84 if I do 7 of the 12 pointers and get 84 points that way, and then it's only 2 points for the daily, so then it's another 14 for a daily every day. Total of 98 points in a week versus a little over half that if I'm only doing the 6 pointers. It's going to take me twice as long to get to 800.
I mean, yes,
If that's how it works. I get
right.
what you're saying.
But I guess what I'm saying is, what I'm thinking is like longer is fine as long as it's can be completed in the time.
No. We must optimize. Min max. That's how we live our lives, Seema. If you're not doing all the things as immediately as fast as you possibly can, then you lose. You lose and
You lose. No one wants to
rewards
lose.
for you. Good day, sir. I said good day.
But I
Stole
mean,
busy lifting drinks.
it is, and I mean, if you get behind and don't want to be behind, you can buy in, right?
Yes, you can. Or you can do that the very first day.
Yeah.
Pay the $20 or whatever it is. It's not all that much. And you're done day one. And there are people that do that. Marcus did that. Marcus did that last time around. Bang.
Right.
Slap
And the
down.
advantage is you don't have to worry about it for the whole season.
Slap down some credits. We don't take Republic credits here, only money.
Like, I mean, I didn't worry about it, but I did keep track, and I knew where but I guess that's part of the activity too. Like, I made a little graph for myself so that I would say if I did it in a spreadsheet. But like, if I was here at this point in time, I would consider myself on my own schedule, right?
Yep. Yeah. I
But
mostly did it, I'm in an optimal way, but I don't.
yeah.
But I mean, that was also something. Yeah, no, that's that. Remember that
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
my
I do.
deal.
Yeah.
My
I
deal
remember.
was I didn't like it, but I did it, and I was gonna do it to see how long it would take me to be bored enough of doing that at like as much as the maximum amount every week. And I did end up doing it till the end. But the point was I even expected not to continue to do that because you don't need to do that. You got plenty of time to do what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do what you want. Do whatever I want. Okay, so now we've got let's see what else they said. That's the main stuff. Oh, they added, which I would like to potentially poke my head in on, as we mentioned. They added in vet mode of the Elon Musk Flashpoint. So that is cool. Check that out. Game scaling, they already said. Oh, and then, wow, sort of forgot about this. And one of the most fun things is styles. So you can get your second combat styles. You can play with that, your styles and your loadouts, of course. I copied over this character. This is my main mercenary. I copied it over. This, where it says training and skills, this mission pops up for you right away. You can click on that, get into it, and it walk through the dialogue and cutscene that says, what do you want for your second combat style? The cutscene and the the little bit of the story that it takes you through to pick your combat style is pretty cool. I recommend going and checking it out, or at least you will when 7.0 comes out. And then once you have that style, or even with only one style, definitely check out loadouts and play with the loadouts. Because what the loadouts will allow you to do is set up your bars, set a set of gear, set your skills in your skill tree, and then at the click of a button, switch back and forth between a couple different loadouts of gear, skills, and button layout. And you can even do that between combat styles. So great opportunity to make use of loadouts in that way. And you get a bunch of loadouts to try. I don't know how many total loadouts we're going to get, but there. Exit this. You do have a lot in the loadout list available to you. I am going to pick Vanguard on my mercenary. What are you going to pick on your... Here's the loadouts. So there's... How many loadout? So if the loadout slots that I see available here are 10 loadout slots on the PTS. I don't know if that's what will be in release, but that's a lot of loadout slots. That's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
if you're asking me loadouts, I'm definitely gonna have a loadout for a DPS spec on my Merc. If you're asking me what my second
combat style
style,
on your main healer Merc that you play with, and on our
yeah,
team.
undecided. I really like lots of things about Sork, and I like lots of things about Operative. So,
well, you can't do Sork.
I mean, you're right. I can't do Sork. What was I thinking?
Because only the tech classes can only do
Right,
tech
right.
styles. I'm for anybody that doesn't know, the force classes can do any of the force styles. There is a trick with the force classes though. If you want to do the opposing faction style,
right.
you need to get the achievement for Dark 5 or Light 5.
I mean, I do have a lot of Sorks and Sages anyway, so
yeah,
I don't need that combat style. But maybe I guess that kind of default for me then will default to Operative.
Because you get the stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Get in the stealth. I can see that. I'm probably gonna do on my Merc. I'll do Vanguard. On my Vanguard, I'll do Merc because those are my two mains that I play the most. Then I'll also have a comfortable tank and DPS spec on both of those. That'll just be nice for me there. And then I would like on some of the other characters, I would like some stealth here and there. I think that's going to be a popular second style choice. Assassin on my forced users will be popular for me because I could be a tank or I could have stealth. That's going to be pretty useful. And then I do like lightning. I do like Sork.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably take my Sage, and you will get this choice on your forced user classes when you log them in, or if you achieve Dark 5 on that class, you will have the opportunity to change your base combat style to the mirror combat style. So a Sage can go to Sork, and a warrior, a knight can go to a warrior. You don't get to pick the other things, and you don't get to do that on the tech classes. It's just that light versus dark extra little bit of flavor that they've added in. But test it because there were problems with that last round of the PTS. So I will be interested to see if that's working properly this time around too. All right, that's the bulk of what's there to test, and then just getting out and doing stuff, and like playing with your loadouts. And as we're seeing gear scaling seems to not be working, and my guns aren't working in the outfitter. So trying this stuff out, just getting out there and playing, seeing what things feel like, getting into the Elon Flashpoint, checking that out. All that is goodness if you've got the opportunity to get on the PTS. Get a group together, do some PvP. See how that feels, see how the scaling in there works, because that scaling is all different. We've talked about that in previous episodes as well. You'll want to spend some time doing that if that's your thing. Anything else, Seema? Any plans that you have?
I kind of want to, I do, yeah. I haven't played with combat styles a lot, so I want to do that for sure. And I do want to try, like, I want to try the new leveling from 1 stuff too, as well.
Yeah. Right. And see how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's going to feel weird and probably not feel that great is the rate at which you get new abilities. It seems to have a lot of space in between them as you level up. As in which levels you're getting those abilities in 3. But although it's so fast to level up these days, maybe that's not going to feel too bad. It's a good question. As Force Chuckle in the chat room says, if you want to play the clue, great. Test that. Let's test. Let's test all the emotes.
I mean, who doesn't want to play the clue?
Do I have it, or is it not unlocked? Oh, there we go. I'm playing the clue. That's what a clue is. Get a clue. Get a clue, you guys, and then play it. All right. I think with that, we can wrap up, maybe do some of this PTS testing or Total Galactic War starting on Tuesday. Got that too. Otherwise, we will see you in all of the regular places. With that, I think we can take our EPC 408 droid and kick him out an airlock to broadcast this episode to all of you out there. For podcast links, follow me on Twitter at MaxTheGray. And if you know any cool people that should be playing with us, tell them to come check us out on the podcast. NewOverlords.com is the main place to get all the links and all the feeds and all of that. But you can also find our guild at aie-guild.org. You can find our guild Discord in the upper right. We're on the Starforge server. We've got guilds on both the Republic and the Imperial side, and we would love to get you a guild invite for Star Wars or for any of the other games that our community plays. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.